Welcome back to another episode of CheapHeatTV. Here tonight we have a little bit different kind of show going on, but the first thing I want to do is bring on the first person. That would be my best friend, my beautiful bald bestie, Shane Mako.
What? Hey, you know what? We might have to get you a raise, man. You're doing too good at this.
Man, it is what it is, man. I'm learning from the best. All you guys are so great at this, so I'm just trying to learn. But let's not forget about our cohort, our third wheel.
Cohorts.
Fresh off his vacation, sponsored by CheapHeatTV, Upbeat Xanders.
Are you still upbeat?
Hey guys,
oh, man,
I'm back. Scott, man, I would applaud, but it's bad for the audio listening. That's awesome, dude. You're doing great at this. Like, the intros, man. It was quick, short, straight to the point, man. Not a lot of talking in and out. Like, I liked it, man.
I'm short and to the point, man.
Yes, I'm happy. I'm happy to be back. I mean, I've been excited for this all week. I've been kind of ready to get back in my old area. I made it back from California. It's shocking. I'm sure everyone took the me not making it back odds, but I'm here. I'm here and ready to get it.
Yeah, and look, and our fourth member, the guy we can never forget, our friend, the king of all wrestling media, Gene Jackson, who will unfortunately not be here tonight to join us, as he is on his sponsored vacation.
Where'd he go?
I did not get that information. I don't
know. So I'm a little bit closer with Smokey, and like I helped him with a lot of this booking of the traveling. So my understanding is Uncle E bought him and Rosie tickets to the class of the castle, and over there, and they were going to get flown out there and all this other stuff. And then something with Ephraim, the plane ticket got kind of backwards, and they didn't put Gene's correct information on there, and it's just I don't know where they are now, but Gene was not happy, so he's not here. He's taking a quick break. I hate it for him. Gene,
was that a fat joke?
What do you mean? How
was that a fat joke, bro?
What do you mean?
They didn't log his correct information. Like, he has to have 2 seats booked.
No. If you want me to shoot, they gave him the wrong name. They put Gene Jackson.
I saw the Kevin Smith story. I'm just saying, he's a big man. You're saying correct information.
No, they put to be honest, they put the wrong name on the ticket, and so now he wasn't. He went with Gene. They put Gene Jackson on there, and it's supposed to be Gene. And there it is, man. I feel bad for him. He's taking the night off, so we're over this. Gene, I do apologize, man. Sorry you got suspended. We can talk about that. I mean, I'm up for talking about that because y'all had something to do with that interview. I wasn't, unfortunately, in California, and I mean, I can. Smokey's out of protest because Uncle Ephraim kind of like is strong-handing a lot of this stuff, and Smokey is kind of pissed if you haven't met Smokey. But either way, so my trip, dude, look at these photos. Did y'all see all this? Man, I had a blast.
Yeah, man, saw you and the Hey Dudes and just chill out and relax and everything, man.
The Hey Dudes, man, those are worn down. Those are worn. Mako, I don't. This isn't audio. You have to be able to express your feelings.
I'm just saying, man. I still got a lot of pent up aggression after that Klein interview that you so politely excused yourself from.
I mean, I didn't plan the vacation. That was an Uncle Ephraim thing. But okay, so let's talk about
getting suspended because he's over here going in, going after everything. He gets suspended just because Smokey's got a little tiff up his little booty. And it's not even cool, man.
Well, so
he didn't do nothing wrong. We tried to be polite to that man.
So I mean, like, I don't know how much slack kind of Smokey got on his end with the EPW officials because, like, we're not associated with EPW currently. We're not wrestling. We're not having much to do with them. But I don't know where that came off as because, I mean, like, dude, y'all, I'm trying to be more upbeat, and so like I couldn't get in on a lot of this conversation after listening to it on the plane ride home. I'm kind of glad I didn't. Y'all kind of beat the poor crap out of that Justin Klein fella.
No, man, I didn't feel that way at all.
I just feel like that's some sensitive crap that doesn't need to be like. What do you mean we went in? He attacked me first.
I mean, I'll give you that. He did come in. He came in with a bad attitude, but like we are supposed to be swinging above. Like we're supposed to be swinging up, not.
I thought I was swinging up.
No. Why did you think that?
Because I was talking about myself, and then when I'm talking about myself, we're always going up, all the way up.
I'm glad we're getting singing out of this episode. I'm glad.
I'm just saying.
So,
I didn't say nothing but the truth. All he was like, well, I had a blah, blah, blah opinion of you, Mako. Now you're really starting to piss me off. Well, there, Colonel Sanders. Well, you pissed me off, too.
Yeah,
I let him speak his mind. I mean, like I didn't jump down in when he first came on the show. I let him say exactly what he wanted to say. I took notes of what he was saying because I knew exactly the kind of hole he'd be burying himself into. And when it was my time to speak, I feel like I laid out some knowledge out for not just him, but for other wrestlers, other booking people about how to do business, and he didn't enjoy it. I mean, I guess not my fault.
I'm just saying, I used to be the guy to get all the heat around here, and y'all seem to have.
I don't know if you weren't reading those comments. We weren't getting heat. We were all back up positive. Everybody was like, "Take him, get him, beat his ass." And I was like, "All right, see, looks like we have friends here." I don't know what he's thinking.
Well, it's not him. I'm not worried about Claude. Once again, we're swinging up, and y'all swung. When y'all swung up, you kind of hit a little low on the guys who are above us. Like it was.
I go yard.
I mean, if you know anything about me and how I wrestle, I bring people down to my level. I don't go up to their level.
You really y'all were. It was like he was laying on the ground. He was lower than your level and just kicked him in the ribs. It was kind of a. I felt bad for him.
You should know your lane and don't try to reach up. You shouldn't be reaching for the branches that are higher than you.
He did, man. It's unfortunate. I'm upset I wasn't here because I feel like I could talk everybody down and we could have a nice conversation. Because like tonight. I don't know, like Scott's been promising this for months now, and I'm all about fulfilling promises for the guest and like for our viewers. So we've got, let's see, Scott E's least favorite moves tonight. That's a big list. I need
to define that. Like least favorite moves, like to watch or to take. Okay.
And if you want to play along, be more than happy. But Scott announced it a couple of weeks ago, and we're just going to try to keep to it. And
it's a LABOR Day Extravaganza.
It's Extravaganza. I didn't see unfortunately, so Smokey took such a sabbatical that out of anger, he just didn't he shut the show down for this week. I came in late off my vacation, so I popped into the studios today, and Smokey has 100% thrown his hands up. I believe we all just Smokey, I think, was more offended than Gene with a lot of Klein's unnecessary comments, because he did mention the cat a couple of times, and he's not the cat. He's Smokey the producer. It does a heck of a job, way better job than what he's producing content-wise, because I've seen a lot of his content. I'm going to be nice. That's neither here nor there. Mako, you're going to have to you're going to have to pay attention to the podcast. Dude.
I was paying attention on my phone.
It's an hour long, dude. I understand you're swiping, but
well, it's not. Well, man, stop.
I'm sorry, dude.
None of my business.
But I mean, it is your business. He came on
surge.
To attack.
It's the surge time, the peak hours when everybody gets on their phone.
No, man, it's. So do we want to do that list now? Or do we want to wait a little bit?
No, we'll wait, because I want to figure out I want to apologize to Smokey for not being here in his defense. And I felt like Gene a lot of time has to be the mediator and kind of has to be the middle guy to just and he just couldn't take the shots like he wanted to, because I mean, that's Smokey the producer. He's been in this longer than y'all have. He's been behind the scenes doing the stuff that he's been doing for a while. And a lot of times it's against me, but he has been in the studios in the past more than we recognize. So I'm sorry, Smokey. I'm sorry Justin Klein was a jerk.
There you go, Smokey.
Thanks, Mako.
Silence.
Thanks, Mako.
So LABOR Day, what we doing? Who's cooking?
I mean, this is Scott. I mean, I don't care to go straight to the top 5 list. I mean, if
we can't talk about Labor Day, hey, I'm talking about food now.
So what? So I've got fantasy drafts, and Gene will absolutely.
I got Cooper Kupp and I got Stafford, so I'm happy on that. So
Gene will pull the plug if we start talking about fantasy, and he will come to my house. And...
All right, what about this? So I heard that Sheamus and Big Boy had like a great match. Anybody hear about that?
Sheamus and Big Boy. All right, so let's. So
Walter's what I call
Sheamus, him. Yes, Walter's what everyone calls him.
I thought they changed his name to Bert, like
Gunther. It's Gunther now. It is Gunther. I'm sorry.
Yeah, what the fuck are you? Correct.
Everybody calls him Walter. That's what
his name is Gunther. Gunther. Okay.
Him and Gunther went. They had an unbelievable All Outs happening like right now as we speak. So I know all the fans that are choosing between us and All Out. We do appreciate y'all choosing us tonight. So we're supposed to have a guest on in the second part of the hour, but he's trying to get on, and when he does, we'll be raring to go, and we'll have a bunch of questions for him. But let's talk about it. I mean, did you get to see the match?
No, I just heard about it.
Okay, perfect.
No, I just want to, I like, when I see the buzz, it makes me want to go sit down and watch it. Mm-hmm. I just been playing Madden on my PS5.
And once again, Gene will bury all of us.
He can bury all he wants to. I'm just saying, why didn't watch the match? I'm not talking anything other than quick boom boom. I like your half an hour of Smokey talk. Like I'm sure Gina won't be too upset with me. Anyway, I've heard about the 5 stars and everybody saying instant classic. Saw some screenshots. Was like, okay, I may have to go back and check that out. That was a very how do I say this? Unexpected, I guess, thing that I would be seeing, because I thought maybe somebody was just being funny, but then it kept going. I was like, oh man, I did not see those two. I mean, I can see how they can match up well, but it's just I haven't heard anything from Sheamus in so long of him being. I know he's good. I just didn't know.
Well, Sheamus is almost at the point where he could play that Fit Finley role to where he could advance somebody, even Bob Holly, because whenever they were advancing guys who were really trying to come to the forefront of stuff, that was those guys that were putting over the guys like Orton and some of the other guys with Finley and Regal also. So I mean, that's a good thing. I mean, that sees that somebody's looking at success and actually copying it. So that's always a positive.
I always thought Sheamus was really good in the beginning. Like I did. I just kept thinking he kept trying so hard to make like a gimmick. And I kept pushing his gimmick and I just think he got away from what he was really good at when he first came in. Kept trying to give everything a name and try to be these. And I was like, dude, you were just kind of good when he came in. I actually liked him when I used to play 2K. I used to be like the guy. I was like, man, I don't know something about the guy. Well, I'm saying he's wrestling, man.
Well, so let me ask you this. Like I see a lot of guys focus on move names and stuff like that. As a fan, like before you started wrestling and making it a full-time hobby that you're doing it, was it something that like you find annoying that people are trying to do, like trying to name everything and trying to get all these big?
I think that you should name it, but the thing is, that name can make or break you, man. You can't just, if you try too much and you keep calling things like when I first got in, I had a name and then I had a name and then people kept trying to give me names for other things. And then it's like, well, everything can't have a name, because then it's just like, what are you doing? I mean, you can't have names for everything you do. Then it gets kind of like silly. But like when Wrath became whatever, and he called it the Meltdown, he came out with the Pump Handle Slam and they reinvented him. That changed his whole career, coming out with the Meltdown in the Pump Handle Slam. It's like he came out, hit the finisher, boom, they called it the Meltdown. Everybody said, oh, that was what could really set you off, because he would have came out there and be like, he calls it the chicken pooper. We would have been like, I don't understand that. Like, I don't get it.
But what if he doesn't call it anything? It's just that devastating term.
It really, if you call it, you have to, like, that's the thing, is that, because I mean, it would just be like, then the announcers wouldn't have anything to call it. They'd be like, well, it's a pump handle inverted body slam, Oklahoma slam, whatever. It would make it too hard on, because it's like 3 moves into one. So, I mean, it makes it easier. But the announcer still would fish for a name for it. You'd have to, because, I mean, it simplifies it. But then that's how we came up with all the things that we do now, right? Like, I mean, you see the DDT, we know what the DDT is. We know. So, I mean, without names, you got to name it something.
And I know I'm asking an open-aired question, and if anybody who's listening to us live has the actual comment for that, I'm sure we'd love to hear it. Who is like the first person who really originated that? Like, I'm sure there's some obscure, but like in your mind, who first originated calling it something? Like, I would imagine like the Tombstone, because I'm assuming the Tombstone wasn't.
DDT was like that was probably the coolest thing ever, just because of how he came around.
If I'm assuming you're talking about Jake the Snakes.
Yeah.
But like it was just called a DDT. It was just a move. It wasn't like called.
It was
Tombstone.
Yeah, but the thing is, the DDT was actually it's a snake poison that he named it because it was a mistake. The move is the mistake. The guy tripped Jake caught him, and then boom, and then everybody went crazy. So he did it again.
Okay.
DDT is a snake poison because he is, he was a snake thing. That's where Jake the Snake and all that kind of tied in. But he knew what he was doing when he called it DDT. It's like that's probably one of the better original names because it's actually based on something nobody even knew. They thought DDT, it's just, but no, it's actually like part of Jake the Snake's whole thing. Like he had to think about it. He was like, well, what about? He called it a fucking poison after a damn snake. So I mean, I feel like
easy on my words.
It was quick and fast. It came out quick.
I knew I was gonna kill that because that was a good story, man. I had no idea anything about that. But
no, cool. I mean that's the thing. That's the Tombstone. Obviously, I mean that's Vince. This like people who came out with stuff before Vince. I feel like their stuff's a lot original. It has a more original because Vince just they're gonna call it, whatever, dude. But the guys who did it back in the day, like when I'm pretty sure what's his name, Harley Race. I'm pretty sure all his stuff. I'm pretty sure he had thought about it. But I'm he's just a big punchy, like he punched shit out you. So.
All right, so that being one thing, here's my question that's a follow-up to that one. Now you have where you have that kind of originated word names came from. What do you think about guys such as say Matt Riddle who renamed like the bro to sleep, the bro whatever, all this other stuff? How do you feel about that, Mako?
I think when you like what he's doing was he steals somebody's move. I think it's kind of cool that he does it that way because when somebody takes a DDT and they do it and they rename it and it's just a DDT. That's when I get kind of annoyed. Like if you do the rock bottom the exact same way Rock does the rock bottom and you call it like your whatever name and something, it's kind of like, dude, that's the rock bottom. Like
and
it's weird.
Jimmy did that with the AJ Styles and the Styles Clash. Jimmy Rave called it the Rave Clash or something like that.
Yeah, but when Bro's doing it, it's like he's doing it, but he's putting Bro in front of it to make it like it's kind of like an homage to that move where he's not like trying to steal it and make it into his. Like, I mean, if you add something different and like your DDT does have a different spin on it, then it makes sense. But just to take somebody's move and be like, oh, that's the face destructor, so you're like, dude, it's just a DDT. Like you didn't do it any different or any better, so let's not do that. But I feel like bro's funny. I think that goes with his character because I mean,
his tombstone's terrifying. It's
dude.
A
lot of his stuff, man. A lot of his stuff looks kind of painful, dude. Like
he jumps so much, dude. He's so scary when he's in the air.
Like, man, I like Matt though. Matt's one of them guys that I just appreciate because he's having fun.
Yeah, I got to meet him.
They have probably the best storyline going right now. Him and the Braun.
Oh yeah.
Because they're letting them shoot, man. They're letting them go from the hip. They're doing what they used to do back in the day. They're not strict. They're not restricting these guys anymore. Like, hey, you guys want to go? Go.
Well, like that's what I was kind of watching some Seth Rollins stuff, like from ROH, oddly, kind of at a weird time frame this week. And that's kind of the promos he was cutting back in the day whenever he was thriving the best. And that was whenever he was so successful at ROH. And I mean, like, he could be a heel or babyface and cut those promos. And it's where he's very comfortable and talented at. So, but
Riddle's got all that past stuff. And Riddle doesn't mind anything about anything. When I hung out with him, that just seems to be the guy he is.
Yeah.
Like he's so much better as himself. I think when he's just sitting there, when he was just eating his damn wrap and he was just being him. And when people actually try to make him like open his eyes and take pictures, you could just see how much he has to try to do that. Whereas when he's just Riddle, just like him, it's like, dude, don't do that. Like, don't worry about them. And like, man, just eat your sandwich and chill out, man. Like put your flip flops on and just be because I mean he's because he's kind of worried. He wants people to be happy, obviously. But I'm like, dude, who's gonna make Matt Riddle like open his eyes? It's like, dude, it's Bro. Like, bro, come on. Like, what we doing?
I still think the most iconic video is whenever he punked out Goldberg because at this point, who has exactly. Poor guy, poor Goldberg is what I mean. But I bet Matt Riddle, and he's every bit of the dude he seems like to be on television.
I just like that. I mean, he's straight up. It's like Seth. I think Seth being able to be. I always find Seth kind of corny, but I like the fact that he's kind of corny because he always comes off like he's trying to be like, oh, I'm such a good. It fits so. It's
well. Kind of him and the Miz have a lot the Miz. The Miz has a lot of that corny dorkiness in him to where and he'll lose his stuff and still be a trash talking piece of garbage throughout it, and it's Seth's the same way. Yeah.
And the Miz just has the wife. I mean, he nailed it with Marissa. I mean, not much you can hate on about the Miz, man. It's just like, all right, you win, dude. You're real world, and you became a wrestler, and you pulled. Come on, you're winning in all aspects of life ever. So you will always be one of my favorite guys.
Not on that, but just to put it out there, like I mean, he's the longest reigning guy in the WWE right now who's never had an injury.
Look at that.
Scott
I feel like did he pull one up on that? Hold on, pull that one up.
Yeah, I was about to say, Scott. Smokey, the fact checker. If Smokey was here, he'd fact check for that.
Dude, you gotta admit though, like that is something that's crazy because if the Miz never been hurt, and it's like guys like Bret Hart and stuff like that, like those are what makes like man, if you can avoid an injury in wrestling, that's impressive. Like
he's been giving liberties though of like being able to leave to go do movies and stuff like that, to where like back in the day, those guys didn't really get those liberties. They just had to keep working. So I get it, but like,
just imagine though being able to say you've never been hurt in wrestling though. Like not
it's
even
such
like
an arrogant move. There's no way you're that dumb to make that statement.
That's just so.
No way.
That's just woo, man. And honestly, I will say this: I haven't been hurt to where it's taken me out. Like I mean, I've been hurt, but it's weird because it's like my shoulder obviously has been fractured and torn, but it wasn't enough to like slow me down. It's like, all right, just take some of the load off. But but you have to fight. But I'm sure he's been nicked up. I'm sure he's been banged up, but to a point where just a good day rest or a couple weeks off.
Good day's rest.
Yeah, sleep with Marissa, let her massage.
Let her rub that thing out. Anyway, so
woo! Sanders just got
so let's talk about, because I'm also kind of wondering about this, because it seems like everybody's opinion, because I've talked to other people, WWE seems to be head and shoulders better than anyone else in the market right now. Like, is that just facts?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, is AEW even pulling kind of a close competition to them? You think so?
They're doing. I saw a couple of stuff on when I was at work. It was on TV for a second. I was watching it. I mean, some of the stuff they're doing, I like. They had one match. It's weird because I think when I was watching what's the guy, Cabana or whatever, Colt Cabana.
Colt Cabana, yes.
He was out there, and it was like some of the stuff I was with him was like, I'm like, this guy, I don't know, it's such a weird personality for him to be out there. But then guys like Billy Gunn, I really like seeing Billy Gunn out there, and then like all the stuff that they're doing. I just don't know, because somebody was complaining about there being 16 matches on their card tonight.
18.
Yeah, and they were just like, "What the?" And I was like, "I mean, are they doing like a two-parter? I mean, are they quick, painless type stuff?"
It's gonna be like 7 hours. It's going on right now.
But then you guys saw what Gene posted earlier, and I can see that's going to be the problem. Is Malachi, like guys like Malachi Black or whatever, are talking about how they're leaving, and you kind of know what's happening there, and you're like, okay, so AEW's pulling the WCW card, but see now it's like when the roster got too damn big, it's like, are you guys gonna be able to focus on being able to get better with your, because now WWE, they're pulling that Raw's War card again. It's the exact setup. It's like they would, WWE didn't change. And now that Trips is in charge, he's going right back to that attitude / thing. And it's like, look, you guys want to go to do this, we'll give these. And now it's like, but their product is better when you let them do them. They have always, like, Vince is almost like just kind of holding back because he's like, look, we don't want to show our hand. So when moments like this happen, it kind of seems like, man, then you just kind of lose because Stone Cold and people start coming out. And guys that you didn't think were great, they get that freedom to be who they're supposed to, and boom.
Well, they're going to have people be comfortable like Gargano, who cuts a really good promo, who could do both sides of the coin, and hopefully find somebody who could be that Stone Cold role. Because I mean, there's a lot of really good guys, but I don't see the Stone Cold.
I really like that. I really like the dude that looks like Stone Cold with hair. What's his name? The guy with the gloves. And
Luke. Not, it used to be Luke something, but it's Samuel something now.
Oh yeah, he's got like the whole Dexter, but he's going after the Miz. He was.
It used to be Samuel Shaw or something like that.
Ooh, he's got that look, man. I'm like, man, if you cut that hair off and just put him in black trunks, you might have the Ringmaster part 2 there.
Little Ringmaster.
My point of view on all of it is like, and it might be just, I think it's just us. Like, they're still pulling fans. Like
Dexter Loomis.
Yeah, there it
is. They're still pulling fans and everything, which is great. Like, I just think it's one of those things where not everybody enjoys the same kind of wrestling. So I think WWE, for us anyway, is hitting more on our register of what we like.
What we consider wrestling.
Rather than what AEW is. And it's not saying they're putting on bad product. It's just not what we like to watch when it comes to
I think the moves and everything, their freedom to do what they want in the ring is impressive, but it's just one of those things where it is more indie style, and I feel like that's the one thing they get away with, where it's like I just have a hard time connecting with, like, I like movies over anime because I can't connect to an anime character over a movie because I feel like that's a real person. Not saying AEW, but I mean that their stuff's more, it's more action. It's more
like, human. WWE is more like a movie because they're creating. They're not assuming that the characters are already established. Amazing people.
And it's like that's just the difference. It's like you get more action in AEW. I think you get more inventive, more creative, more guys out there in the ring willing to do things that kind of got away from what WWE was always about. Where it's like they want you to believe that the stories and everything have that. You fall in love with the simple stuff sometimes, but you got guys out there that just they can watch two guys go out there and one up each other in athleticism, and that's amazing too. But I mean, it just depends. I mean, to each his own. I love both of them. I just feel like if they could share and just kind of let guys go back and forth as they wanted to and all that, that'd be amazing. But that's never going to happen. But
is something like NWA, because I like the roster and I like the surprise angle that they're doing with like Matt Cordova. Do you think that's something that can make headway enough to compete with even? Because I mean, like they're going to be AAA. Like if I always look at the way wrestling forms, it's like
somebody's going to pick them up though. Like they're going to be ECW of it, and I feel like somebody's going to help keep them in it. I think either AEW is going to go to them. I think they fit WWE a lot better. And I think WWE would do great to like kind of help them out and supplement like funds to them and like see if they could develop more guys to come up. I think they fit WWE style, and I think that would be. I know somebody's going to go after them. They're not going to let that be a single entity. Like they're going to end up getting like they're going to share or.
Is it going to be something like with Jim Cornette whenever it was God, I can't even think of the dang promotion.
OVW,
whenever OVW
Ohio Valley,
Ohio Valley was really kind of creating some of those guys that were, because if they're saying like everything, and you've kind of talked about it a little bit, they're almost not looking to the indies to have these guys anymore. They want to create them themselves.
Yeah.
And you can't do that without ring time. And it doesn't matter what the facility is and how good it is. Until there's a crowd there, you don't know how people are going to perform.
Yeah, you got to basically do what, I know you'd say, Gino, hate this, but you basically got to look like when the Patriots draft from Alabama, why do they do that? The program is a more professional program. So therefore, when they get there, they fit that system. So if you let them go in WA and they already have that really nice format, everybody's on the same, they get to work that same kind of crowd, interviews on the spot. Those guys are getting, traditionally trained and better trained, I think, to a WWE than they are. But a lot of those guys grew up they came up on the indies because, I know I've met a lot of those guys on that roster, and they came from WWN, which is great. But I mean, some of them could be great in AEW too. And I feel like they might get a better polished product if they allowed those guys. But I think AEW right now with ROH, I feel like I want to see where they take that, because I feel like that's their style is ROH, where guys get to show what they can do in the ring, not so much, fixated on stories. But I mean,
is it going to be something to where those, like what I consider, like I was going to say, those minor league shows that are like not quite there, but to produce people like Alex Kane, like with the MLW, it's unfortunate because they've kind of fallen. Like it seems like they've kind of fallen out of the graces of it. It's not as big as of a hot thing as it was like NWA is, but like, do you see that it turn into one of these things where people start drawing lines in the sand and start doing all that other stuff?
I think it's really good because I mean, look, it just like when I went and did WWN down there, the guys who did Evolve, when they kind of got their thing went under, but then Trevin started his down there. He runs a very, very well polished product that gets you ready for getting to WWE or even AEW, because the meetings that they have, the way that they announce things, the way it's very TV based, and you're like, wow, this is really nice. I know some people may not like it. I like it. I like the direction. I think guys going there and knowing that they have a job to do, and they tell you what your job is, and they expect certain things to be. I love that. Whereas I don't like really going to a show and they're just kind of like, hey guys, thanks for coming. Just go do your thing and thanks. And you're just kind of like, well, what do you want? Well, and that's it. You're kind of like, well, all right. I mean, it kind of, I don't know. It's weird, but if you go to NWA, these guys are only using guys that they're giving them stories. I really like the interview process too. I like right when you get out of the ring, you got to go right to the damn desk and talk. You know how hard that is? Like that is real. That's like putting you in like a pop quiz. Like you're getting it. We got a test. You're like, that's great for guys because you're winded, you're tired, you're exhausted. And they're like, now tell me how you feel. And you're like, man, I remember the first time I had to do that. I gave the cheesiest, most face promo ever. I'm just like, well, let me tell you. And I was like, man, listen to that thing. I was like, never again will that ever happen. I will never do that ever again.
Hang on, shit. We seem to be having technical difficulties. Give me just a second. Keep talking, Mako. If this is, I'm sorry. Hang on. That's weird. I have no idea what was going on.
I thought that show got canceled.
I did too. I don't know, but that was if people are watching video wise, go back and check it out. Otherwise, that's an Easter egg. So on the back of this, right? So we're going to take a break. My guest just showed up. He just showed up. So we'll have on the back.
Hey, we can get him to do. We can get him to do favorite.
Least favorite moves.
Yeah.
We'll do it on the back side of it. We'll play with it.
So go to your commercial there. Go.
Okay, hang on. So just real quick, I appreciate it.
Go faster. Go faster.
On the back side, we'll give you a little tease. This is the guy who was. Hang on. Oh, hang on. Look how this is when Sanders is in charge. Look at this. Look at this, unbelievable. On the back side of this.
And he apologizes. He apologizes too for letting himself not look like that anymore.
Yeah, I would like to say. I would like to,
That's when Charles Anders used to work out with me.
Yeah.
You looking to have a good time? Well, head on down to Happy Hour Comedy Club and Restaurant in Anniston, Alabama. Shoot you some pool, play you some darts, or head on over to the bar, get you a cold beer or one of them fancy cocktail drinks. They got all that. You hungry? Get you one of the best pizzas in Anniston or anything else off the menu. They got burgers, tacos, chicken wings, anything you want. Every Thursday night, they got open mic comedy and karaoke, and live comedy every Friday and Saturday night with some of the top comedians from across the United States. Go to happyhourcomedyclub.com for more information and tell them Whitey Jenkins sent you.
Hey guys, this is Wolfie D from PG-13. Check out my podcast, Live and in Color with Wolfie D, every Monday at noon. We're talking Memphis, we're talking ECW, WCW, WWF, everywhere that I've been. We even have some great guests, some Hall of Famers on the show with us every Monday at noon, Live and in Color with Wolfie D.
You like barbecue? Well, of course you do, unless you're some kind of weirdo or wasn't raised right. So if you want to get some of the best barbecue around, check out P3 Barbecue. Our buddy David Estes does it up right, and he'll be glad to cater to your next event or just send you some of his award-winning sauce right there to your own doorstep. Go over and check them out on the Facebooks at facebook.com/P3Barbecue or give old David a call at 901-679-3452 and tell him Whitey Jenkins sent you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, the podcast that's based on the old school, but can still help you find the good stuff from today. Dangerous Dan Colley, the Professor Jimmy Street, and the Plastic Sheik Jared are the undisputed six-man tag team champions of the wrestling podcast world. From thought-provoking topics to superstar interviews to action figure expertise. This trio does it all, and all they ask is, give me back my pro wrestling! Every other Thursday, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Get ready to get inspired. It's Xander's Inspirational Podcast, the brand new podcast with Upbeat Xanders, as he has one-on-one podcast sessions that both inspire and inform. Check it out as Xanders has a one-on-one interview with some of your favorite people in and out of the professional wrestling business. Give it a listen on CheapHeatTVLive.com. It's the Old School Dives Pro Wrestling Podcast with Shane Knowles and Gene Jackson. Every episode, they will take a deep dive into old school professional wrestling. Pro wrestlers, events, all sorts of great topics will be covered every 2 weeks right here on Old School Dives. You can find it at CheapHeatTVLive.com and at YouTube.com/CheapHeatTV. It's Old School Dives with Shane Knowles and Gene Jackson.
Hey guys, welcome back from commercial break, and we're just going to go straight into this while old Xander's eating a salad.
Hang on. We're trying to get Mako back in the chat. I'm sorry. I'm eating a salad. I wanted to prove this to Mako whenever he pile drives through his microphone trying to get back up here. Mako, are you back in this? Excellent Christmas boy.
Hey, it's always Christmas with Mako.
That's true, man. Get back. Are you okay? So you're back, so we can start this interview. This interview is mainly for you.
All right, so we're going to get straight to our guest, and I don't know a better way to introduce him, basically by just saying it's the baddest man in pro wrestling, Mr. AJ Steele.
Wow, baddest man in pro wrestling. That's a little heavy.
No, man,
Terrifying.
you're a little heavy. I mean,
That's a little heavy. I appreciate that, but that might get me in trouble.
Might get you back in your
That's what
boots.
we're all about on here. We're all about getting in trouble.
Well, okay.
So
I see you guys are sticking the rules out early.
Yes, yeah, we have rules.
All right.
Yeah, we have rules and we have an order. We're going to try to play a game with you here in a minute, and you can think about it while we kind of like pick your brain on some older stuff that you were a part of. It's going to be your top 5 least. You can do top 3 least favorite moves to take in pro wrestling, whether it be superplex, whatever it is. We'll get to that in a minute. You think all that one.
Right.
So
okay.
So you are, how big of a boy are you, as the great comedian once said?
Oh boy, how big of a boy?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. I'm not so big anymore. I've kind of calmed down on hitting the weights, so I'm not 290 because I was legit 290. I was walking around. You remember that time I threw you off the camera? I was legit 290.
We're gonna talk about this, and real quick, I've actually got some footage that I'm working with. We're trying to implement new stuff at Cheap Heat, so this is perfect. So this is us from way back in 2015. We're just gonna do a quick highlights of just watching.
Yeah.
Watch the strength of this poor man. If you're watching
it's
every bit of as bad as it looks.
Man, I feel so bad. I feel so bad.
Did you at the top?
Don't feel bad. He deserved it. I'm sure he did at some point.
Was there at any point where you at any point, because we talked a little bit before this terrifying beating happened, at any point did you actually feel bad for me? Because there's other things that I can show throughout this match that was kind of...
Well, I mean, while everything is going on, no, I don't. I don't feel bad for you while it's going on. And then even on the way home, you start to say, damn, did I really have to throw him that far? Like, I didn't have to throw him that far. Like, I shouldn't have thrown him that far. But
yeah, there's okay, so that far is a good start to it. Like, that's a good comment. And I guess we're just gonna kind of break this match down since you're talking about hot and other things like that.
Okay,
so
all right.
We're gonna go ahead to this next clip that I'm glad I've got a little help of the production crew with. This is hang on, here we go. This is for me ducking smartly, and for some reason,
man,
higher than it's real quick. Let's get one more quick view. See, like I don't understand why you're.
I'm not that guy anymore.
I'm glad because I couldn't imagine you being that with anybody else. Have you ever? Because clearly you had no remorse for me during this, and I'm watching this as it's happening. The thing's up on YouTube. Everybody go check it out. It's AJ Steele versus Charles Sanders if you want to. And I'm watching it, and you're jaw jacking some other guy up there doing commentary. And I'm gonna put up one more here in a second when I get to it. But there's also certain chops that I didn't enjoy. Like, I don't allow anybody else to do this to me. It's rough.
Yeah, you really have a choice when somebody's that big, right? Xander's like,
well,
I wouldn't let anybody else do that to me, but he's not gonna say no.
It's literally the heat of the moment. It's really that's all I can say. I feel so bad today.
Look at that. Would you do this? Okay, so let's just say 2022. AJ still walks into a show and he sees Charles Sanders is wrestling him on the card. Would you do that to me again?
Absolutely. I'm sorry. Am I allowed to say that? Yeah. I'm sorry. Yes, absolutely. I would. As a matter of fact, because you said that was in 2014?
2015.
2015. All right. So that means that was what, 7 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I have more to prove now than I would then. So I would try to throw you further and throw you higher now than I would have then.
Okay.
If we're being honest. So yeah, I would definitely do the same thing. I probably would chop you 10 times harder. I would want to chop your heart out your back. Like I would want it to literally come out your back.
Really? Funny.
We got a show coming up, man. You free?
Mako, wait. Let's first off, I
haven't agreed to anything.
Thank you. Me too.
You're free, man. We can do some talk. We can set this up, man. I'm down for Xander's round 2.
That's great.
So real quick, Mako, I want to ask you. I want you to see first glimpse of this picture I'm about to pull up, and what do you think I am upset about? Real quick. You can't see my head great. It's unfortunate, but how upset do I look?
You look you look uncomfortable, like your balls hit the wire there. But I'm gonna say he either back chopped
Yeah, I already know what's about to happen.
He either back chopped you or you hit balls.
I already know what's about to happen.
Yep, there it is. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he didn't tell me.
No, I didn't. And I hate to say this, but you remember the question you said you wanted to play a game? We're gonna talk about that back chop in a minute when we play that game.
Okay.
So
by the way, I've seen you throw like as vicious as you are destroying me throughout this match.
Yeah,
you're actually very agile. I've seen you hit plenty of great.
I appreciate that.
Like
I appreciate that
because you're a shoot like what 6'3", 6'4".
I would say maybe 6'1".
Really? Always.
Yeah, I'm 6'1".
You're
but
just
always wrestled. I always worked in combat boots, so that sort of gave me a little bit of a lift. So, I mean, I may have looked a hair bit taller than in my regular street shoes. So,
was anybody dumb enough to say, "You asshole, why are you working in combat boots"?
No.
Okay.
He walked in the locker room.
I had to think about it.
You probably got guys that wear combat boots. People
let me tell you something.
Some of those.
Let me tell you something. And Xander, you know this better than anybody. Bro, I am the epitome of making it look the way, because I'm the coolest dude ever. I didn't never get up. Well, I got upset, but for the most part, I was always respected. Nobody ever gave me any shit. I always had a great time. I tried to be the life of the party in the locker room. I never got shit from anybody. There's a few people that, some stories have probably been told, but it's literally probably like 3 people in 24 years of working. I've never really had any issues with anybody.
Well, see, that's crazy because and I can attest to that in the locker room. You're the most fun-loving, seeing you.
I am, dude. I tried, bro. I had such a great time.
Yeah.
I can't lie. It was sometimes the stuff that went on in the locker room was 20 times better than what went on in the ring. I promise.
Man. So many better promos because I've seen you and cut some and just absolute scare people to death. But you're also.
I have fun doing it though. I miss it every day. I swear I do.
Yeah. Do you feel confident? Do you feel smarter than when you were? Let's see. When this guy was out because look at that animal. That's terrifying. That's 2015 Do you feel like you would be a better, because I mean, we're a worker show. Do you feel like you would be a better worker now?
Yes, because when you first get in the game, you just want to go out there and get your shit off. You want to go out there and blow your wad. You want everybody to see what you're capable of doing. And then and for me, it's when you get hurt is when you learn how to work. Is because now you have to slow down and really make things make sense. And then you learn, for me, I can't speak for nobody else, but then you really learn how to work and when to do things and how important timing is and all of that stuff. So the first 10 years of my career, I would have to say it was mostly, I won't say the first 10 years, maybe the first 5 years. It was mostly, ooh, I can do this. I'm a bigger guy. I can do this. Let me show you what I can do. And it was no psychology at all. It was just punch, kick, suplex. I mean, and that was the first 30 seconds of the match.
That was, and then it was one of those things where I see it with a lot of younger guys now, and I try to explain it to them, and they don't understand the realm where I'm coming from, and seeing that being a mistake that a lot of even you early before, I got to see the tail end of it because whenever I wrestled you would kind of figured that out and you would figure that, hey, I can throw 4 punches and then toss this guy as high as I can.
Yeah. Sometimes less is more. Less is more sometimes. And you don't really get that in the beginning. And then of course you gotta look at who you work with. I was fortunate in the GCW and there's more than one GCW, but the one in Columbus where Jerry Oates was running the promotion and Eric Watts, and I got to work with all of the TNA guys, Sonny Siaki, David Young, AJ Styles. I mean, the list goes on and on. Elix Skipper. I learned so much from them. Bull Buchanan, Luke Gallows. I learned how to work, and that's what slowed me down. And they were like, dude, you do realize that you're 280 pounds? Why are you working like you're 220 pounds. Why are you bumping so much for people? Why are you not making them work to knock you on your, knock you off your feet? So
yeah,
the psychology was not there for the first couple of years. And then as I met these great workers and great people, I learned.
There's, and I don't know how many of them actually listen to the show, but I know we are in contact. What's an advice to a inspiring big guy? Because there's guys out there that because there's a gap now. It's crazy to think about because back in the day, Logan Creed was that young guy, and now Logan Creed's he's getting to his ceiling, like he's slowly reaching it. But there's guys underneath that now. What do you have to say to those guys?
Well, it's funny you mentioned Logan because I had already started working when Logan came in, and I met him at AWN in Fort Valley and had a conversation with him about the same information that the Bull Buchanans and the Luke Gallows gave me. I didn't have to, but I gave to him as in conversations, and I would tell the new guys now the same thing. Like, realize your size. Realize. This is a art form, and make it make sense. And most people that know me know I used to bounce in nightclubs, so I've been in real fights. And if you want this to look legit, then think real fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, would I legit, like, if somebody got up on the bar to jump off, what would I do in that in a situation like that? So make it make sense. Exactly. So if you're a Logan Creed or a guy the size of a Logan Creed, when you go to kick that boot, I remember a conversation with him. When you go to boot somebody, you got people that are supposed, up in the rafters that you want to see that boot. So extend that son of a bitch as far as you can. Don't just be small, be big. You know what I'm saying? So I would legit tell them, be big. Be your size and make people work to get you off your feet. Don't go out there and bump just because you can. Make it make sense.
Yeah. Now let me hang on. Okay, go ahead, Mako. I'm sorry.
The only thing else is like the weird thing is that when big guys talk to big guys, it makes more sense. They can relate. It's really weird when you get to and I go against big guys all the time. It's really weird, and I think smaller guys could also do this too. When you're going against a big guy, I know big guys, they really like to help little guys work. They're like, man, I want to give you. Sometimes you really just, how you could be the look, and I'm like, man, look, man, I appreciate it, I really do, but that's not what people are gonna. That's not what they.
That was the best match. That was the best match, the storytelling wise, mine and AJ's, is because you didn't see much of me hitting offense because I could sell his fact that what he needed in that story.
And that's exactly what I think. Smaller guys have to take some of the responsibility too, because I know there's big guys I went against that would be willing to do so much for me, and I'm like, look, I don't need all that. Like, make me work for it, because I feel like when I got to put you down, man, it makes me get more like I can't stop you. But when I finally do, that's my payoff. Like, that's where I'm getting from. Don't fall for me.
You get yourself over that way.
Yeah, it's like, and I wish smaller guys would be a little bit more responsible. Because
Marty Jannetty told me when I first started, he said, You're too good. You're too nice, basically. You're giving everybody, like what you just said, Mako, he was saying, like, you're trying to go out there and be nice and give somebody something and make them look the part. They have to work for it. You have to, they have to legit work for it, because if they work for it, it means that much more when they actually do get you off your feet. So now it actually means something. They did something. So so it's not like you're out there just beating nobody. They accomplished something. You accomplished something. You get to put each other over. But if you're a 280-pound guy and you're working a Charles Anders at the time when, make it make sense.
I'm a $180. I'm 180 pounds.
That's exactly why your ass left the TV screen. Make it make sense.
And
you know what I'm saying?
It was one of those things, and this is digging a little deep into the background. And I've seen you do it with a lot of people, because a lot of people, you understand your role as a big guy, even as a baby face. And me and Gene, unfortunately, he can't be here. It's really tough to get baby face big guys over, because it's hard to get sympathy for them.
Right.
And you did something that no one else could do, which was able to get sympathy and still be this big dude who would break handcuffs and just what's the craziest big guy thing they've ever put you in? Like a situation.
I have so many situations. Well, first of all, and I was working a show. I can't remember the town, but it was at a National Guard armory, and they let me drive out on a Hummer to the ring, like I was on the top of a damn Hummer. And it just, I mean, if I wasn't big enough, that just made me. I was standing on the top of it, so I literally. They drove it to the apron, and I literally walked off the Hummer and walked into the ring. So that was pretty cool. But that just added to my size and my character. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Other than that, big guy stuff. It is hard as a baby face, but I think the trick for me was being able to be get people emotionally invested into my character.
You were relatable. Yeah, you were like the fans related to you.
Right.
Like they
heel or baby face. Yeah. It didn't make a difference. I was able to do both. They hated me when I was a heel and they loved me when I was a face. And I just was able to, I don't know. I'm going to always give credit to the guys I work with. You know, when you work with good talent, you can make things happen. And I can't do none of this shit by myself. So,
yeah. Okay, do you have a top three before we get to Scott's top five? Your top three in whatever order of what least favorite moves you have?
The back chop would be number one. That's the worst fucking thing ever in the world.
How many times have you taken a back chop? Because I've taken way too many.
More than I probably should have. You know how it is. When you give me one, I'm gonna give you 5. So you know what I'm saying. You just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time that night, and
that's a private conversation. We can privately.
I love you, though. I love you.
All right, let's give you number 2. You're gonna lose the gimmick whenever you start loving me.
I know, right? Back chop, and I took a package pile driver from Micah Taylor that. I never really I don't ever want to I've only taken one, and I don't want to. I've taken that, and I took a superplex off of a cage, and that wasn't
was gonna be
that wasn't
as big as you are.
Yeah. You feel that for about a week after after a superplex on it. Yeah, so that was those are my. I never did like doing anything where I was going backwards off the top rope.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead and put that like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 in my list of things that you don't want to do as a worker.
Vaco, you got one last question before I hit up one more?
I'm good. I think that was
awesome.
That was perfect. Like,
okay.
I like the psychology. That's big. I think anybody watching this, they need to because there's a lot of big guys in this business that, like you said early on, they do too much. I also think that smaller guys need to understand too. Like, just because somebody's willing to be nice and
don't take it.
Don't take it. Like, sometimes
it's the worst thing that could ever happen to me. So, Scott, you got anything? You want to flip the ball for something? That's pretty much where you are now.
Oh man, I was just gonna say it's good seeing AJ. Like, I met AJ. So I met AJ at GCW for Xander's. All that match happened, but I remember my biggest thing was the first time I ever got to go to Peach State was the moment I walked in the locker room with my bag. I saw AJ Steele and sitting over in a corner with a couple of people around him. I was like, "Yep, that's where I put my stuff because nobody's gonna mess with me over here."
There's a lot of locker room stories that maybe be a different podcast another day. But so thousands.
Wow.
So you said earlier. So this is the biggest thing: is make sure you make it look like a fight. Like if we get anything out of the podcast, let's make sure. So you said
make it make sense. Make it make sense, especially like Mako said. If you're a big guy, make it make sense.
That's right. You said what would happen if somebody jumped off a bar. Well, it just so happens the last part of this match would pretty much be what happens if somebody jumped off a bar. So we're going to close out this interview getting you to watch my poor dead carcass.
God. He jumped off the bar. He jumped off the bar and he put him through it.
And this is where you would throw me out. And pull back the curtains. I asked him to throw me out, and I'm such a bad wrestler, I couldn't grab onto the thing. So I almost died here at the end of it. But yes, it's very graphic in watching me get demolished. I unfortunately Gene can't be here. There I go, right on my head.
Oh God! Yeah. Look how he lands. Are you serious?
All shoulder, man. All shoulder.
Yeah,
like not even.
I would appreciate if my production crew would get this off the screen.
This is a family show, right? This is a family show.
Thank you, production crew, for slowly getting that off the screen.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
AJ, man, thank you for coming on, man.
Hey, man, anytime. I appreciate you guys, and you know me, bro. I'm here to do whatever is necessary, and I'm having a great time. It's been a while since I talked wrestling with anybody because I love it so much. I kind of try to push it out of my head because it makes me want to come back. And Mako already asked me would I come back and throw you off the TV screen again. So
let's
Xander's
say
still
that,
too, man. I'm down.
We're at the 55-minute mark, and unfortunately, we're gonna catch it on another podcast. AJ,
all right, brother. You guys take care and be safe. Thank you very much for having me on. Take care.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. AJ Still, ladies and gentlemen, once again, great friend of the show. He's unbelievable wrestler. If you're looking for a solid big guy, you are. If you're not beating down this dude's door, you're going crazy.
It sounds like he retired there, Xanders.
It sounds like it sounds like a certain opponent would bring him out, but that certain opponent is petrified.
Hey, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. If you ever look at the crowd one day and this big motherfucker comes out in a hoodie with a mask on, Xanders, I'm just hoping that you ain't in the ring when it happens.
This is going to be the end product. I already know what's going to happen.
Get that call. See if that upbeat won't get that upbeat beat out of him.
Dude, yeah, that'll be the last beating that I'll take. Is that upbeating.
That was fun.
That was to be fair, I wrestled AJ after that match you had with AJ, so I went to that match completely petrified too.
So I didn't know, like, I barely knew AJ, and like I'd seen him barely work, but like this was an opportunity. Like when they say opportunities back in the day, that was an opportunity. So like I hopped in the car and took that immediately. And I think I was not feeling, I think I was a little under the weather, like my leg wasn't feeling great, or I pulled a hamstring or something. And we got out there and had that match. And it was very, very helpful to my career. It made me feel better as a worker, and that I knew what I was doing when to do it. So up there's Stan the man. Hey, Stan. What's up? So, Scotty, are you ready? I mean, like, oh, cool. Hang on. You got it already? So hang on. I'm sorry. Production crew. Actually, that's not what the, I'm sorry. But it was good effort.
I thought that was so.
You put really, yeah. I'm trying to. Yeah. There we go. Uh-oh. There it is.
Yeah, mine was close.
You were really close, Mako. So
yeah.
I guess
can't make that noise right there.
Yeah, that's true. Hang on, let me yell at some of the production crew.
I don't have two crickets fighting in a jar.
Fighting in a jar. Anyway, so this is Scott E's top 5 list of
what y'all been waiting for.
Everybody, all night.
Scott
The
Extravaganza.
The Labor Day Extravaganza. Scott E, are you going to like 5 to 1 or like 1 to 5?
I'll go 5 to 1.
Mako, are you going to comment through this, or no? We
don't really have time for my comments.
Oh, come on. All right, so number 5, just off the gate, is non-house show dive. So if it's not a plancha over the top rope to the floor, I do not like it. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. These guys are either coming out too hot, or they're not getting there, making their distance. It's unreliable.
Nobody likes to see death live.
It's unreliable. Number 4, I have Poison Rana, which is, if you don't know, is the one where you do a backflip.
Oh, yes.
How many Poison Ranas have you taken in your lifetime?
Somebody wanted me to, bro. I couldn't do it.
You've taken 2? Terrible decision. I won't take them.
I was too scared, man. I was like, I'm out.
Poison Rana. So that was number 4. Number 3 is Fall Away Slams.
Fall Away Slams. So,
I love those. I won't take them. I give them those.
I hate taking them. This is all about taking them.
Oh, I took one from Bishop.
So, okay, like I've taken one from Logan Creed from the middle rope. I would rather taken one from the floor than the middle. The height on it and the bigger the people were. Or if you, maybe I get Logan on there, or if you have destroying me. Guys, sorry.
So that's because of the way you sometimes you land.
Yeah. That shoulder, man. You over rotate.
Yeah.
So number 2 is the Alabama Slam.
Oh, Alabama. Yeah. I was going to say you were going to do the Wade Barrett one.
So wait, is that the same motion? Okay, hang on. Is that the same motion, or what do we consider?
No, it's just a whipping down. The Alabama Slam when you whip them down.
Hang on, wait. How many times have you taken an Alabama Slam? Like, has somebody called and like, have you ever said no thanks?
I have taken an Alabama Slam from the none other than the Dunk Sanders.
That's why you don't like it.
Okay, so that's why. That's enough of a reason.
And
Hell, wait.
That's number
Are
two.
you at number? Are you going to number 1 now?
This is number 1.
Okay, so number 1 of Scotty's top 5 list is
Number 1,